So once you've accessed App Inventor 2, it should bring you to the landing page. And then all you have to do is click on the Create button, as indicated by the arrow. Depending on whether you are logged in, it will either prompt you to log into your Gmail account, or you will land on this page and you just click on Allow. It will then ask you to accept the terms of service, which you have to do in order to continue. It will ask you if you want to take a survey. You can either take the survey now, take the survey later, or never take the survey. It's up to you. It will then bring you to this screen. You can just click continue, because I will show you how to set up both the emulator and how to set it up to work on your Android device. It will bring you to the welcome screen and you just click anywhere, and that is it. This is where all your apps will be listed once you start building them. So now it's your turn. See if you can access App Inventor 2. Let me know how you get on. Design Viewer. We're going to have a look at the Design Viewer. In order to access the Design Viewer, you need to start a new project. So you just click on Start New Project. You can call your project whatever you like. Please make sure it is one continuous word, no spaces. I'm going to call my project Hello. Once I've named my project, I just click OK. Now we have access to the Design Viewer. As you can see, it is split up into sections. We have section 1, which is the palette. This is where all the components are. They can be moved by simply dragging and dropping into the viewer. Please refer to the PDF document in the resources to see what each component does. But as we go on in time, we will be working through the components, so you will get to see them in action. This is the viewer. This is where you drag and drop the components in order to build your apps. The viewer simulates your mobile device. Components. This is where your components will be listed. As you drag and drop from the palette to the viewer, a list will form of all your components. From here, you can delete your components as well as rename your components. It is a good idea to give your components unique names, so it is easier to identify them when you are in the block mode. This will become clearer later on. This is the properties. So as the components are dragged from the palette into the viewer, their names appear in the components. You can edit or delete from there, and the properties appear here. So as you click on a component, its properties will be listed. This is where you can change things such as the size and the color and anything else that is listed here within the property section. There is also a media section. If you scroll down, everything you upload, such as images and backgrounds and sound, will be listed in the media section. Now let's look at the block view. This is where your components come to life. You get to the block view by clicking on blocks, and it should look like this. On one section there's a list of blocks, and another section there's the viewer. So this is the list of blocks, and right here is where your components will appear. As you can see, the block names are Control, Logic, Math, Text, Lists, Colors, Variables, and Procedures. All this will become clearer as we begin to build our apps. But in the meantime, why don't you have a click about on both the design viewer and the block viewer. Try adding things, deleting things, renaming things. Just have a play and see how you get on. In order to test your app on your Android device, you need to download MIT AI2 Companion from the Google Play Store. Just put in MIT AI2 Companion into the search and install it onto your device. Once it's installed onto your device, it should look like this. If you have an app to test, you can do it now. If you haven't, then just simply click and drag a button into the viewer, like so. We're going to change the text on the button because by default it says text for button 1. We're going to change it to test button, and you do that in the properties under text. We are now going to change the font size, make the text bold, and change the background colour of the button like so. And the properties for those are here, here and here. Okay, so now we're going to get just this button that appears here to show up on our Android device. First, you need to click on Connect. And then you go down to AL Companion. And you should get a screen like this appear with a code. Make sure you remember the code. Then go over to your Android device and you're going to double click on the MIT AI2 Companion. Once you've double clicked, your screen should change. You're then going to tap in the white box in order to bring up the keyboard. You enter your code and then you click on Connect with Code. It is possible to use your scanner that you have on your Android device in order to connect as well. All you have to do is click Scan QR code and scan the code. Your Android device should now show the button that was created in App Inventor. Now let's change the background colour from pink to blue. You simply go back to App Inventor. You can see in the Properties section the background colour. And you just simply change the colour. And your button should now look like this. And it should instantly change within your Android device. Like so. Right, so now it's your turn. You give it a go and let me know how you get on. Well, I hope you've had a good time playing about and getting to know App Inventor 2. Now we're going to just make a test app. It's not really an app. It'll just be a button that when you click it, the text will read, "Hello, my first app." So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is drag and drop a button into the viewer. this is what we will click on, and then we will drag and drop a label into the viewer. So this is where the text will be displayed. So you see everything that's been dragged here has appeared in the components. So I'll click on button 1 because that's that, and I'm going to rename it My Button and save that. And the label, I'm just going to rename it My Label. And click OK. So these are the components. As you click on each one, their properties appear here. So for my button, first of all, I'm going to change the position of the button. So I just simply drag and drop it so that the label is on top and the button is underneath. So when I click my button, the text will appear above it. I'm going to change the font size to 28. Press enter, and as you can see, the size of the text has been changed. I'm also going to change the name that appears on the button. You will find that in the property section. If you scroll down, you will find the text. I'm going to change it from text for button 1 to click. And as you can see, the text has now been changed to click. I'm going to make the text bold, and I'm going to change the background colour of the button from none to grey, and then I'm going to change the colour of the actual text from black, if I scroll down here, to text colour, and I'm going to change it to blue. And as you can see here, the text is now blue and the background is grey. Now going on to the label. I'm going to change the background colour of the label from none to green. I'm going to remove where it says text for label 1. I'm going to delete that in text. As you can see, the text has gone. So now we're going to go over to the blocks by clicking here. Our components are here, as you can see, my label and my button. So if I click on my button, then it's got all the controls that I can use. So what we want it to do is to return some information when it's clicked. So when my button is clicked, so we're going to click on there because that's the one we want. And what we want it to do is to return some text. So we go down now to my label, and we look for text, which is right here. So we just click that, and as you can see, these are like puzzle pieces, and this will just slot together and you will hear a click like so. So basically we are saying when my button is clicked, then a label will return some information. So we're now going to tell it what we want it to say by clicking on text. And because we are going to determine what it says, we just want the blank one at the top there. Click on that. And then drag and drop it there. So again, when my button is clicked, my label will show some text, and the text will be, hello, my first app. In order to run it, you will need to either run the emulator or connect to AL Companion, which I have demonstrated in another video, but I will include some screenshots of my phone. Right, so now it's your turn to have a go. Feel free to change the size, the font, the colour of your buttons. You can call it whatever you want, you can rename them. And then in your blocks, you will need this because you want your button to be clicked and you want it to return some text, but you can change this to anything you want. You have a go, let me know how you get on. Okay, now let's change things up a bit. Instead of pressing the button and having it read, hello, my first app, let's have it actually say it. So the way we do this is we can delete my label, like so, and we're going to go down to media. We're in the user interface, we're going to go down past layout to media, and then we're going to drag a text to speech component. As you can see, it doesn't stay in the viewer. You can see it right here. Because it's not a visible thing, it's not something you will see on your app, but it's something you will hear. It doesn't show up within the viewer. Then you go back to your blocks, and this time, instead of when my button is clicked, it types hello, my first app, we're going to have it speak it. So the first thing you do is click on text to speech within your list of components, and as you can see right here, call text to speech, it will speak it. So you click that one, and then you drag and you drop. And then you're going to tell it what to actually say, not what to type. So you go back to text, click on the blank one, drag and drop it there, and we want it to say the same thing, hello, my first app. And that's it. And you test it.
Hello, my first app.
As you can hear, I'll do that again.
Hello, my first app.
You can make it say anything as long as it's typed right here, it will say it. Now it's your turn. See what you can make your app say. As long as it's typed here, it will say it. So be careful what you choose. You have a play. I hope you've had fun playing around with App Inventor 2. Now we're going to make another very quick app to get you used to the interface. So this is quick app number 2. Talking image. So basically we're going to make an app out of a picture. When you press the picture, it makes a sound. So first of all, you need an image. This is a good resource for free images. 𝐒𝐫𝐸. Just simply go to 𝐒𝐫𝐸.com and do a search for the image that you're interested in. I decided to go for a dog. So my app will be a picture of a dog, and when you touch the screen, the dog barks. So in Morg Files, I did a search for dog. And there are a ton of dogs that came up. This website has a ton of images that you can use in your projects. So I decided to go for this cheerful looking dog right here. And all you have to do is click on the image and then download the image. Next, I needed a sound for my dog. And what do dogs do? They bark. So I decided to do a Google search for dog barking WAV files. And as you can see, there are a number that come up. So that is all you need. You need the image and you need the sound you want it to make. You can even record your own sound if you want to, and you can use any image that you already have if you like. So once you're in App Inventor, you just click on Start New Project, and you can call the project anything you like. I've called mine Image Button, and then you just click OK. And you are in. As you can see, the name of this project is Image Button. Okay, so for this app you need 2 components. You're going to need a button. So you drag and drop a button into your viewer, and you're also going to need a player. So you drag and drop that into the viewer, but it will show as a non-visible component because it's going to play a sound as opposed to anything that's visual. Right, so your components are here, your button and your player. You can rename them if you like, but I'm going to just leave them as they are. Now, instead of leaving this as a square, we're going to change it to the image that we just downloaded. So to do that, you need to scroll down to image. Make sure you are on button, scroll down to image and click upload file, and then you click choose file, and as you can see my image is here. So I'm going to click on my image and click open, and then click OK. It then uploads the image. Now as you can see, the image is way too big for the viewer. In order to get it to fit into the viewer, what you have to do is click on first, either you can do it in either order. You're going to change the height and the width, and rather than trying to guess on the size it needs to be, just click on height and click fill parent. Click OK, and then do the same with the width. Fill parent and then click OK. And as you can see, it has sized it perfectly. Next, we're going to, because it's not a square button, we don't need this text here. So we're going to delete the text, as you can see from here. Text, highlight it, and delete. As you can see, the text has gone. Right, if you see here in media, the picture of the dog has been loaded. So everything you upload, any media object, such as a picture or music or sound, will be listed here. So that's your dog. You also need to upload the sound it's going to make, and you do that by clicking on player, and you click on source, upload, and then you look for your sound file, click OK, and it will be loaded to App Inventor. And as you can see here in media, it is there. And that is all you need in the design view. So we're going to click over now to blocks. So for the button, we click on the button component, and these are all the options you have. Now we want our dog to bark when it's clicked on. So basically it is a button that's now an image. So when it is clicked or tapped, so that's the button, we want it to play the sound file, which is a bark. So you click on player, and we want it to start the sound file, which is this one. So you click on that, and then you slot them together, and that is it. So basically, when you tap this image on your phone, the dog will bark, or whichever image you choose, it will play whichever sound you have chosen. So why don't you give it a go? Okay, so I hope you have been playing around with App Inventor to see the possibilities. We're going to be working on another quick app, and just to let you know, I have actually decided to install the emulator, because that's the only way I can really show you the app working, because after the last app, the footage was terrible of me trying to film my phone. It was noisy, it wasn't very professional at all. So I've installed the emulator, and I have put a document in the emulator setup section of the course, so it'll show you exactly how to set the emulator up. Okay, so this app, I've called it Say This, and basically we're going to have a button that when it is pressed, it will speak whatever you've typed in the text box. So for this app, we need a label. The label is going to give the instructions. We are going to use a text box, and we need 2 buttons. One button to click to have it say what has been typed in the text box, and one button to clear what has been typed in the text box. So first of all, I'm going to rename these buttons. So I'll leave the component names as they are, but the actual name on the button I'm going to change. So you scroll down to text, and I'm going to change it from text for button 2, and I'm going to change it to clear. As you can see, it's changed to clear. It's a small font, so I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to change it to 26, and I'm going to make it bold. So that's the clear button. And then we go to the other button, and I'm going to call that one click here. So again, you go to the text, click here, and again I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to make the text 26. And I also want to change the color of the text, maybe to green, just so it looks different. Green. There we go. Now for the label, I just want it to say type your message here. So it's giving instructions basically. It's not going to say it, sorry, it's not going to say it. This is just, if somebody was using this, they would know to just type their message there. So type your message here, and I'm going to make that a bit bigger, maybe 18, but shall I make it bold? Yeah, make it bold as well. Okay, and that's it. So we're going to go to the blocks now, and I'm going to start with the easiest button, which is button 2. So basically when button 2 is clicked, we want it to clear the text box. So we go to text box 1, and we go to text, and we slot that in there, and then in text we want the blank one, and that is it. So basically when button 2 is clicked, within the text box it will be blank. So that's what that's saying. So now button 1. When button 1 is clicked, oh, I missed an important component actually. If we go back to the design view, we want it to speak, so we need to go to media and drag and drop text to speech, and then that is here on in the non-visible components. So now I can go back and click on the text to speech, and this is the one we want. So basically when we click button 1, we want it to speak, and what we want it to say is whatever has been typed in the text box. So we go back to the text box, right, so, and we just find text box text. So whatever has been typed into the text box, that is what we want it to say. So when we click button 1, it will say whatever is in the text box. Right, now let's go back to the designer and have a look at our app. So you'll see that this says type your message here. We've got, I'm going to change that actually. I'm going to change the color of the click here button. So that's that button. change it from green to a darker colour. Just back to black. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. Okay, let's get the emulator up. Okay, so it's telling the user to type the message here. So let's give it a go. So basically it should say whatever I type in here. So I'm going to type I can build apps and click here.
I can build apps.
And there you go. And to clear it, we just click on clear and the text has disappeared. So let's try this. Is lots of fun. Ha ha.
This is lots of fun, ha ha.
And that is it. So let's go and look at the blocks again quickly. So for button, let's change them around. So that's the order that they're in. So when button 1 is clicked, it will say whatever message is within the text box. And when button 2 is clicked, it will return what we've typed here, which is nothing. So basically, when button 2 is clicked, it will clear the text box. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please feel free to type whatever you want in your text box. Feel free to play with the fonts, the colours, type different things in and have fun with it. So let's say that you wanted to use your own custom icon and you didn't want to use the one that comes with App Inventor 2. It's very simple. All you have to do in order to change the icon is first create your icon. As you can see here, mine is just a simple icon with a green background and a picture of the mower. It measures 96 pixels by 96 pixels and I saved it as a PNG file. So once you've created your icon, all you have to do is within App Inventor, make sure you are in screen 1. As you can see here, properties, screen 1, and then you scroll down to where you see icon. And then you click on icon, click on upload file, choose file, and you then locate your icon. Mine's right here. You double click on it and you click OK. It will then upload your icon to App Inventor. And it's as simple as that. When you download your application, it will use that as your icon instead of the default one that comes with App Inventor. So why don't you give it a go and let me know how you get on. Right, so this app is going to be a drawable app. You're going to be able to draw with this app. So let's start a new project. If I go to my projects, start new project, and I'm going to call it draw. Okay, and I'm going to change the screen name from screen 1, scroll down to here, and I'm going to call that draw. Alright, as you can see, it's changed here. So what we need for this is to go into the drawing and animation section, and we're going to drag and drop a canvas into the viewer. I'm just going to name it. I'm just going to leave the name as it is. It's a good idea to change names once you start to build more complicated apps, but when there's only one or two components, you should know exactly which component you're working with. Okay, so I'm not going to rename it, but I do need it because it's very small. I need it to fit in the whole of the screen. So I click on height and click on fill parent and OK. And then I click on width and click on fill parent and OK. So this is going to be a drawable area. Right, so I think one more thing that we're going to need is a button. I'll drag and drop that there, and we're going to call that clear so that it clears what we've drawn when we've finished. Okay, we're going to call that, we're going to change the font size to 26, make it bold, and that is it. Simple as that. For this one, I'm not going to be able to show you in the emulator, so you're going to get some footage of me using my phone or my tablet. Okay, so we're going to go to the blocks. We're going to click on canvas, and basically when we drag the canvas, meaning when we run our finger across the canvas, so we want that one, so when the canvas is dragged, we want it to draw lines. We want it to draw lines, so we're going to pick lines. You can pick circles, points, text, but we want it to draw, I want it to draw lines. So drag and drop that in there. And basically X and Y is up and down. So we want from previous X to previous Y, current X, current Y. Okay, so this is the up and down and side to side motion. So when you touch the screen with your finger, it will just draw. Now our button, we want, when the button is clicked, we want it to clear the canvas. And there we go. And that is it. So basically we can draw anything we want here, and then when we're done, we just click clear and it'll clear it. I will demonstrate it on my phone. I apologise in advance for any footage. So there you go, another quick and easy app. You can customize it however you want. You can maybe put a background in, change the buttons, just have a play with it. Let me know how you get on. Okay, supposing you wanted to add a background to your canvas, it's very simple. I did a search on Google for some graph paper, so I'm going to upload that now. Right, so you make sure that your canvas component is highlighted, and then you go to the background image, click on that, click on upload, click on. Then you just simply locate the background that you would like to upload. For me, it's going to be the graph paper. So you double click on it and then click OK. And as you can see, it has uploaded the graph paper. Right, next you need to go over to the blocks. You need to highlight the canvas component. You click on it and then you're going to click Set Canvas Background Image. And you drag and drop that into button 1. And then again you click on your canvas component and you're going to choose Canvas Background Image. And then you drag and drop that into button 1. And that's all you have to do to set your background image. I will film my tablet again to show you it in action. Make sure you have a go. You can use any background image you like. You can even upload some sort of cartoon and draw over it. The possibilities are endless. Okay, next we're going to make this game. You drag the lawnmower around the screen and you try and catch all the plants. Okay, so let's get started with this project. First we're going to start a new one and we're going to call it Rogue Mower. First thing I'm going to do is change the screen name from Screen 1 to Rogue Mower. And you go down to Title. And as you can see, it's changed there. That's all we're going to do with the screen. Now we're going to drag and drop the components. We're going to need a button, we're going to need a canvas because it's a game. I'm going to swap those around. The canvas, we want it to fill parent. This is the parent and we need it to fill it. So we click on the canvas component and then we click on the height and then fill parent, OK, and the width, fill parent, OK. Right, because it's a game, we're going to be using image sprites. So you drag and drop as many as you want. In this case, we need one for the mower and some for the plants that this mower is attacking. So I'm going to have 6 plants. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and one of them's the mower, so 7. Okay. We're also going to need a clock component. That is with the non-visible components right there. So we've got our canvas, we've got our clock, and we've got our image sprites. And we've also got our button. Okay, so I'm going to click on the canvas and I'm going to change the background. So it's a mower and it's going crazy, killing the plants. So I'm going to have the background image as grass. You could either upload your media here on the individual components properties, or you can upload everything you need into media first, which I think I'm going to do this time. So I'll click on upload file. These are my resources, so I'm going to upload this flower or this plant, some grass, the mower, and I'm going to use an image for the button. So one at a time you can upload them. Right, so we've got in the media, we've got our button, our mower, the grass background, and 2 lots of plants. So the first thing we're going to do is change the background of the canvas, and we want it to be the grass. So we go into the background image, click, and then find our grass, and OK. And as you can see, it has put in our grass. You can see the little image sprites here, and then we're going to make them come to life. So image sprite number 1, I'm going to rename that. So you go into components, click on image sprite number 1, rename it, and I'm going to call it mower IMG. Right, now I'm going to click on the picture that I want. Instead of this little square, I want it to be a mower. So I click on picture, mower, and as you can see, my little mower has appeared. Next, we're going to upload the images of the plants. I have 2 sets of plants, so 3 of them will be one and 3 of them will be the other. So the first 3, click on picture, and I'll click flower 1, and I'll do that for the first 3. And as you can see, they're appearing in our canvas. Okay, and the last 3 will be flower 2. Okay, so now I'm going to change this button. Instead of having a boring grey button, I'm going to actually add an image of a button. So first I'm going to delete the text, and then I'm going to click on image, and this is what the button's called, and OK. As you can see, the button is rather big, so what you have to do is play around with the height and width. I'm going to make it 50 by 80 and see how that looks. Yep, that's about right. You can also change, if you go into screen 1, you can change the background colour if you like. It's currently white. That's how it would look grey. I think that looks nice like that. Okay, so that is basically our interface. Now we're going to go on to make it actually do something. So we go into the blocks. So the first thing we're going to do is bring the button to life. So we click on button from our list of components, and we're going to pick the first option, which is click. So when this button is clicked, we want it to put all the sprites or the image sprites onto the canvas. Image sprite number 2, remember image sprite number 1 is the mower. So image sprite number 2, we want to set that to visible, and we want to make that true. Like so. So basically, when the button is clicked, it will make the plant image visible. And we're going to do that with all the image sprites except for the mower. So from image sprite 2 all the way down to image sprite 7, we're going to make this true. So when the button is clicked, they will be there. So all you have to do is right click and duplicate, and you do that 6 times to cover all the image sprites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you just change, you leave that one at 2, this one becomes 3, this one becomes 4, so you just simply click in on the name and make that one 5, 6 and 7. So when the button is clicked, these will all appear, so it's like resetting. And that is it for the button component. We're now going to deal with the mower. We need it to do something when it is touched. We need it to do something when it reaches the edge, because we don't want it to just continue going off screen. And we also want it to have a function when it touches the plants. We want to be able to control the speed and the direction that the mower heads in. So we highlight mower, and we're going to scroll down until you see flung, which means touched basically. So this means when it is touched, we want to be able to control the direction in which it travels. So click back on mower, and you're going to scroll down until you see heading. There it is. So set which direction it's heading to, and then we're going to find the variable and make it heading. So basically, by touching the screen, we're going to be able to control the up, down and side to side, as well as the speed that the mower is heading in. Right, next we don't want it to fall off the canvas basically, or be out of view. So we want, as it gets to the end of the canvas, we want it to bounce back. So click on mower and then click on edge reached. So when it reaches the edge, click on mower again. We want it to bounce back from the edge. Drag and drop that into there. And we want the variable to be edge. So again, we're controlling the direction and the speed in which it travels, so the heading. And now we're saying that we do not want it to go off the edge of the canvas. Instead, we want it to bounce back. And the last thing we want the mowers to do is to destroy the plants. So basically we're going to tell the mower that if you come in contact with a plant, it will disappear. So now we go back to mower, collide with, so when it collides with one of the plants, but first we need to put a control. So if, we go to control and you're going to click the first one, if, and then go back to mower, collides with image 2, there it is. Right, we got that by clicking on image 2 and scrolling all the way down. So if the mower collides with image 2 or the plant number 2, then we want the plant to disappear. So you go back to the plant and we want the visibility, set the visibility, and we want the logic to be false. So again, if the mower collides with image 2, then image 2 will disappear. That is basically what it's saying. And remember, this button, if you click the button, then we can get image 2 back. So now we need to set this for all of the plant images. So that's from number 2 to number 7. And the quick way to do it is to highlight this portion of the code and right click and then duplicate, and do that 6 times. One, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. So we just slot those in, and then you just need to change the name. So the first one's going to be number 2, and then this one's going to be number 3. All you have to do is click on it and the list will appear. This will be number 4. This will be number 5. Number 6. And number 7. Right, so no matter which one the mower collides with, they will disappear. And if you want them all back, all you have to do is click on the button. So that is the button function and our mower's function. So we've sorted out the canvas and all of the image sprites. We've sorted out the button. Next, we're going to sort out the clock. So the clock. So when the timer starts, we're going to call image 2 to move, because we don't want to make it easy for the mower to eat the plants or to mow them down. So we want them to be moving around the screen so that the mower has to chase them in order to catch them. So when the screen starts, this is what it's saying, we want image 2 to start running. And we do that by putting image 2 move And then we want some maths. We don't want to necessarily tell it where to go. We want it to randomly move about. So we're going to click on random from 1, but we're going to change it to 0. Change that to 0. 2, we don't want to define where it's going to, so we'll throw that away. We're going to go back to math, and we're going to put in the canvas and the image. So we need 2 spaces there. So basically, when the timer starts, we want the plants to start running. We don't want to tell them where to go, but we do want them to just stay within the canvas. So therefore we go back to canvas and we scroll down to width. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. If you make a mistake, you simply drag and drop it into the bin. So back to canvas, and we want width, this one. And we're going to put it in there. And then we go to our image sprite. And we want width. There. I'm going to put that one in there. And I'm going to right click, duplicate, put that in there, and change that to height and that to height. So basically we won't tell it where to go. We want it to randomly move around the canvas, but to stay within the constraints of the canvas, and we want it to be that image. So image 2, the width and height of image 2 to stay within the canvas. So now all we have to do is right click, duplicate, and insert that in. I'm going to make some, I'm going to drag and drop it down to the bottom. There we go. And you need to do this another 4 times, so there's 6 in total. So duplicate and insert. And you've got to change the name of the image. So this one will be 3. The canvas stays the same because there's only one canvas. And you need to change this to image 3. And you do the same with all of them. This will be 4. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Okay, so to just quickly recap for the clock, when the clock starts, we want the plants to randomly move around the canvas, but within the width and height of the canvas, and it's just the sprites to move around. That's what that is telling it to do. We've got the button. When clicked, it will make all of the plants visible, or the flowers visible. So we will see the flowers. When the mower is touched, we will control the up, down, side to side motion, and also the speed. I'm going to show you how to edit the speed as well in a minute. The mower, when it reaches the edge, instead of going off of the canvas, it will just bounce back. collide. When the mower touches one of the plants, they will disappear. And last but not least, when the clock starts, meaning when the game starts, the plants will randomly appear on different parts of the canvas, but always within the canvas. And that is it for the blocks. We go back to the design view. We need to change the speed in which the mower travels. At the moment, the speed is set to 0.0. That means it will not move. So basically, I'm going to change it to 2.5. And that is it. I'll leave everything else as it is for the moment. And there we go. Oh, it's flipped. Okay, so if I go into, there is a way. Okay, yes, if I go into, because it looks, because of the shape that the mower is, it doesn't look very good when it's upside down. So I'm going to uncheck rotate so that it won't rotate. Let's go back to the emulator. Seems a bit slow, so I'm going to speed it up. Oh, that's a bit better. So when I click start, the plants should return, and there they are. As you can see, they're randomly going about their daily business until that evil mower mows them down. As you can see, it's mowed them all down. All you have to do is click start and they're back. As you can see, the possibilities are endless. You can have any background or any image sprites that you like. And so go for it. Have fun with App Inventor. Let me know how you get on. Right, so these are the resources that I used. I'm going to put them in the resource section. If you want to use them, feel free. Just in case you want to use your own graphics, the size of these are, oh, I thought it would come up. Right, the size of the mower is 65 by 65 pixels. The size of the grass is 500 by 468. The size of, are they both the same size? Yeah, the size of the plants are 29 times 29 pixels. And the button is quite big, but when you are in App Inventor, you can change the width and the height of the button, and I made it 50 by 80, 50 high by 80 wide pixels, and that was a perfect size for this project. Okay, so all those bits will be in the resource section. Is your mower too slow? So let's say you wanted to make your mower go faster. All you have to do is in components, click on mower, and then you scroll down to speed. And at the moment, mine is set to 7.0. So I'm going to increase it to 15.0. And let's see how that looks now. And there you go. By increasing the speed, it's made the game more interesting. You have a go. Play around with the speed. Let me know how you get on. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a splash screen. Splash screens are normally displayed at the beginning of an app or a game. They normally contain information about the game, logos, images, or the version. So the first thing we're going to do is click on My Projects, Start New Project, and we're going to call it Splash. Now we're going to upload the first image that we want to display. Click on Background Image, Upload, choose File, and find your first image. Click OK. Change the background color from white to none. Next, in the palette, we're going to scroll down to Sensors, drag and drop a clock component. As you can see, it's a non-visible component. We're going to change the time interval to 3000. So 3000 represents 3 seconds. So if you want your splash screen, your first splash screen, to display longer, then you have a higher number. I only want mine to display for 3 seconds. So I'm going to change that from 1000 to 3000. Next, I'm going to add a screen. Next to screen 1, you will see Add Screen. Click on that. I'm going to call mine Splash 2. You're going to upload your second image here. Where it says Background Image, click, Upload, choose File, and find your second image and click OK. Change your background color from white to none. And that is it for the design view. Make sure you are in screen 1. Your screens will be listed here. Go back to screen 1 and then click on Blocks. In your blocks, click on Clock 1 and you're going to choose the first option. You're then going to click on Control, and basically when the timer counts down 3 seconds, or however many seconds you've set it to count down, it will open the second screen. So you look for Open Another Screen and you slot that in there. And then you're going to obviously have to name the screen you want it to open. So you click on Text, you select the blank text, and you type in the name of the screen that you want it to open. And in my case, it is Splash 2. And that is it. I will now show you it in action on my device. And there you go. After 3 seconds, the other image appeared. So as you can see, it is very simple to create a splash screen within App Inventor 2. For display purposes, I just quickly created these 2 very simple splash screens in Photoshop, but it is up to you what you want to display. Have fun. Let me know how you get on.